sinergia.
Yes.
Sim? Estão ouvindo?
Yes.
Voltamos.
Sim, sim. That's fine. Ok.
Em uma sessão, então, de sinergia com os 4 elementos da natureza, trabalhando terra, água, ar e fogo.
In one session, she works with the 4 elements, with earth, water, air, and fire, as a natural coach.
Diretamente em contato e interação com o corpo, com o organismo. E
in direct contact with the core, with the body. Yes.
Trabalhando todas as áreas da vida, através desses elementos, trazendo os benefícios para o corpo matéria, corpo material e corpo sutil e energético.
They work in those 4 elements in our body, and not only for our physical body, but also for our energy.
Trazendo técnicas ancestrais, né? Esse é um resgate de terapias e técnicas naturais ancestrais durante esta sessão e vários benefícios. Brevemente apresentando, é isso. Obrigada.
Okay, grato. So she works with natural therapies that she has inherited from past generations, and she's also channelizing, and she's creating a method, a unique method that she's developing by her own, to serve other people here in Brazil and in other parts of the world.
Okay.
Thank you, Edilene. Thank you, Edilene. So, Jeremy, would you like to make a very short introduction of yourself so that everyone here knows about you?
Yeah, of course. Well, I live in Florida, obviously, and I've been in the healing world for 25 years now. And my mother was a shaman and energy healer and taught me what she did in life. So that's passed down from generation. And so that's just the work I do now, just helping people. I have an international healing practice with helping people all around the world. So.
Oh, yes, wonderful. Thank you very much, Jeremy. But just to have a notion, you work as a coach and as a healer?
Both, yeah. Yeah, I think you kind of have to do both in a sense, because I think, well, my feeling is we have to teach people how to follow their own path. So I could do the work for them, but we know this is a journey that they need to be on themselves. And so we can hold space for them, and I'll usually hold space for them so that they can find their own answers, because they have those. Most of the time when I'm working with people, like, yeah, I feel that, but I'm like, well, then go for it. And so I'm like, why are you talking? You didn't need me for that. You just need me to encourage you. And they're like, yeah, that's true. So, but we have doubt in our minds. And so when we start to really trust that inner spirit and trust who we are as a divine being, then things start changing for us.
Yes, that's true. That's true. We not only need to trust, but also if we feel the outcome, well, there's nothing that can beat that, right?
Yeah. And then it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're serving spirit and serving God or whatever you pray to, then you're always going to be in the right place. So,
Wonderful, wonderful. So just for everyone who doesn't know, Jeremy is an extraordinary being that has taken a very significant decision. Next Friday, we're going to do an interview to him, just to, if you want to know more about him. But let's come now today to the rock star today, who is Anjana Lala. Good afternoon or good evening there, Anjana. Thank you for joining us.
It's good evening. Good evening.
Wonderful.
Yes, thank you. Hello, Jeremy. Hello. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Eden.
Edilene.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me, Fernando, and for this opportunity to showcase myself and me and what I've done and my journey. So I do appreciate it. Well, so there's so much to say. There's so much to But anyway, I've been on a healing journey, and I've been working with Fernando for a while, and the shift and the changes have just been absolutely, I can't even find the words to describe the shift that I've had. I don't want to use the buzzwords in terms of what's out there. But anyway, I was at a point where my fear factor was very high when I was introduced to Fernando. And we went through a healing journey to take action. I'm one of those very people that has avoided life, that avoid uncomfortable situations, that avoid big decisions, because I get very traumatized. And I came to a point where I had a bit of a health issue, and I met Fernando, and we did a little bit of healing, energetic healing. I don't know what Fernando's do, but in his drumming, something happened, something changed, and something shifted. So I took a very brave step to go see a doctor and move forward. And and that one action and that one decision has ripple effect into other areas of my life. So and also doing that morning ritual that Fernando is famous for, his morning ritual, the basic one, not the advanced one, where you get your energy up, you take the cold shower. And I'm not a disciplined person. I go with my mood. And ever since I've been doing this ritual, I'm just disciplined. It's like weird. It's so out of character. I can't even tell you. So so it's empowered me. It shifted me. I found a renewed sense of excitement about life, new possibilities. I lost my excitement for over 10 years now. I've become so complacent, so comfortable. I lost interest in life. I stood on the sideline and life just zoomed by. So this renewed energy and excitement, and it's just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. And so let me find the words. I need thesaurus at the moment. It's amazing. It's powerful. I'm getting more comfortable making big decisions, making quick decisions, not over analyzing. So yes, so there's been a lot of shift from the mind, mental, emotional, physical, even spiritual. There's been a shift. I'm not a healer per se, because this is a healer's network, but I'm an aspiring astrologer. So my path is on astrology, and I think astrology is very spiritual. So somewhere along the line, there is a healing. And I do trauma, somatic trauma therapy. I'm a practitioner. So with that we deal with a lot of energy. We work with the body. It's very scientific, but there is an element of spirituality and intuition. You can pick up nuances, the energy that people give off. So I think that's a type of a healer. I wouldn't say I'm a like shamanism or channeling or things like that. I don't have those skills, but that is me in a nutshell. So I'd like to thank Fernando for the major shift that has happened. That has, and I'm still on the path and on the journey. So I don't want to say, I don't, I think,
Well, I appreciate very much your sharing. Please go ahead.
Oh, I must talk more. Okay, what happened is I became very specific. After the shift, I became more focused in terms of what I want to do, what I don't want to do. So I started this journey, but I stopped where I was going to be a midlife coach for women going through the midlife crisis, especially for the empty nesters, because for a mother, their emptiness is a very traumatic impact, because a mother-child bond is so sacred. And I find that absolutely a pleasure and heartfelt gratitude to work with women when their children leave the home and they have to detach and they have to let go. And I want to help them to find themselves and to help them fill that emptiness with a different kind of life experience, with a different kind of focus, a different kind of happiness, that all these years they paid attention to their children, and now it's time to pay attention to themselves and find different way of living, different way of being, a different way of reinventing themselves as a person, finding new goals. And at that age, it's okay to dream. It's okay to start over. It's okay to tell them. And it can be very daunting. So my mission is to be the guardian and the teacher, more of a guardian and a support. I wouldn't say teacher. And I want to let them know that with experience comes so much wisdom. It's amazing how much wisdom that they have. So that is my mission, to help these ladies to say, listen, there is life after kids. There is life after empty nest. It is a difficult journey for a mother and a woman emotionally. It can be very, very tough. So the whole point is that they don't have to do it alone. They can have a guardian to help them along the path, and more from a holistic approach, not from a compartmentalized, labels. I want them to see them as a whole being, their whole life as a wholeness to them, not a wife, not labels, not nothing. Them as a human being, as a being that they can move forward in life, and the different levels that there's so much substance to them. There's so much, as a human being, they're not just take away the labels, because this world has got so many labels. Just because now you're almost 45 to 50, these mothers, they experience emptiness, and most of their lives they identify through roles, but not themselves. So that is my mission.
Well, that's a very powerful mission, Anjana. And let me tell you that, yes, I've known even some of my people that I've been working with, they experienced that they were facing those kind of problems, right? They were facing that question of what should we do now? What's next? What's coming next? So I don't know what to do, or things like that, because they've been too attached to a certain role as a mother or as a father or as an uncle, whatever. But it depended always on someone that then they flew. So they fly away. So then it comes the next question. Well, I am lost. What shall I do now? So for those people who are making that kind of question, do you have a notion of which percentage of people over 40 are facing those kind of challenges, and how badly they need someone to help them?
Percentage-wise, it's extremely high, because it's the cycle of life. I don't have a number. I'm not a maths person, but as a cycle of life, it's part of life. And I would say, for mines with my friend, we're in the same age group, and all the friends of mine who've got kids have gone through it, and that's a high percentage. So people that fall in the category and who have kids will go through that experience. It's just part of the life cycle. So the percentage is high with a question. And also we've been, with the Western thinking, we've been, this is my personal opinion, that we've been brainwashed that by 30, you must have a career, by 35, you must make partner, by 40, you must retire, etc., etc. So that's been influenced by the West, that by 50, you must live a certain lifestyle. And that bubble or that mindset doesn't work, that you must retire and after that, what you're going to do, because you can't sit still as a human being. As a human being, you need to expand. So when the kids leave and there's an empty nest, you can't just stop living. You cannot just sit and fade away in a corner now because now you're aging. And with women, the world has a very negative view about aging. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't wear that. The fashion industry has made aging and this whole empty nest experience very, very difficult. It impacts women's confidence, body image, their self-image. It's a big factor and a big influence. So you see a lot of women in that age group do a lot of, they opt for a lot of plastic surgery, for example. So yeah, to answer your question, the percentage is quite high. It's very high.
Thank you. And do you happen to know any story of someone who was already facing those challenges of the empty nest, and then they found someone who to guide them, and which results they got as a result?
Yes. I worked with my best friend. Her son left. She's got only a son, and she had difficulty falling pregnant, so she was very, very attached to her son. It took a lot of it took a long time to have a child. And now that the child has gone to university, that also overseas, not in South Africa, she found it very hard. Because not that child was not only left the country, gone overseas. So the depression, the anxiety, she didn't know what to do with herself. So what we did is, to help her, what I did is we did a 3-step process. So the first thing that we do with any mom is to grieve the next cycle of life, to grieve by grieving, you actually make peace with it. Because wherever there's grief, there's always underlying an immense amount of love. So if you grieve, and by grieving, sitting with those emotions, sitting with those feelings, whatever your experience and your feelings are, you sit with it, and then you work on acceptance. And from acceptance, then we move on to the next step. And the next step is to find, to move away the way things used to be. Because a lot of in this age group, they always compare, but it wasn't like this. But it never used to be like this. It used to be so much better in the olden days. That's very common in this age group. Oh, it used to be like this. Now this change is so daunting. We need to move away from that because things are always changing. Okay, when you hit that age of 50, 45 and above, but no, it never used to be like this. Things used to be easy. Service used to be better. Things used to be cheaper. It goes on and on and on. So we need to change the words we use and the mindset we use. So that's a big part of the process of the change, to change the way things used to be. And then what we do is, as part of that used to, we play a little bit around with that to make peace. You got a process where you say, okay, wow, it used to be, write it down. We work with that for a while, but we don't wallow in it. We address it, and then we move on. And the next thing we address is the values. What is the core values is very important. If you know your core values, you move forward in life. Once we determine your core values, and then what I do something is called now we want this person to get their mojo in midlife. So we work with a mojo midlife manifesto. They must create a manifesto before they even move on to how life should be. So a manifesto will say, working with the core values, your manifesto will say how you want life, what it wants to be. It can be the manifesto can be also part of a vision board, if you like. So those two goes together. And we did that with my friend. And yeah, so now she's doing a course, and she's finding a new why. Still busy working with that, but it did work, this process. So yeah, I used a little, and this is just a framework. So I do adjust depending on the client. This is just a process that I worked with my best friend. So it worked. She found a new purpose. She attended a course. She's still learning. So yeah, it takes you out from that traditional role that the world says you have to be a certain way. So
wonderful. That sounds really, really fantastic. And congrats, Anjana, on those results. So for anyone who may be already facing similar situations about, okay, I have my children still with me and they're going to grow up, or they may leave at any moment, they're about to go to college next year, or they can take a decision to get married and then go to another house. My question in this sense is, what's your message to those people in that situation?
My message would be that they need to take a step back, and part of their self-care and self-love is identify how much of themselves have they given away, how much of their own power have they given away to external roles. So they need to identify that first and sit with them and say, how much do I still have of myself inside, or am I recognizing myself through external validation, approvals, roles, labels, and start working with that. And it's even the people the kids are still at home, they can still start with that values, the manifesto, to decide what they want future in life. So that's the basis that you can start working with. The key is awareness. The key is awareness of how much percentage do you identify yourself through your kids, your husband, partner, whatever, your family, your job, and start at that point. What do you have anything left for yourself? Are you over-sacrificing yourself? Are you over-giving yourself? That's a starting point where people still have kids at home. So it's never too late to start. You don't have to start when it's fully empty nest. You can start with an awareness where you're already thinking, my kids are 18, 17, 18. Okay, they soon be going off to college. What's going to happen? So the earlier they start, it's easier the transition, the transformation.
Well, that's something very significant what you say, because that's a typical Western way of thinking, right? Okay, now you study, then you got married, then you got a house, then you buy a car, then you have children, then you have to do something else. Yes, but one day your children are going to go away. So at that moment, nobody has a recipe. So, and nobody tells us in the recipe in Western society what to do with our life. So that is when I see your help comes into place as a fundamental role. So thank you very much, Anjana, for bringing that awareness.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Wonderful. So, Edilene, você tem alguma pergunta? Do you have any question?
Não, estou aqui como aprendiz e tentando exercitar a audição em inglês. Estou sendo desafiada a buscar memórias lá que estão no inconsciente já com relação ao meu inglês, que era mínimo, mas abrindo portais internos com esse novo desafio, meu.
Ok.
Nesse momento não, agradeço, mas obrigada.
Grato. Well, Anjana, just to make it clear for you, Anjana, Edilene is already training herself in English. So, of course, not in the world we all speak Portuguese. We rather speak English, and Edilene is catching up with English. So, I just was asking if she has any questions. So, do you have any final a final remark or final message for those people who are watching this video at this very moment? Which is the final message you have for them, Anjana?
My final message is that there's always hope, and you don't have to do it alone. You do not have to journey this alone. You can ask for support. And sometimes, in my personal opinion, an independent person and a life coach adds so much value. So I would suggest that people going through this, because ladies not only go through life decisions, there is something called physical changes as well for ladies, or menopause, which adds extra stress on this journey and life transition as part of this part of life. So it's very important to get a life coach to help you with this. I think it's paramount. I think when I grew up, we had a lot of community. We had a lot of joint family. So the support, the neighborhood, the community that we grew up was very strong. So, and as I grew and we moved on to the Western way of lifestyle, because everybody is so much into individualistic mindset and too much of individualism, that we have isolated ourselves to a point where this journey is very lonely, but not in a good way, lonely in this thing. So it's paramount that you get support. It's paramount that you get and I'm very much into life coaching, healers. I don't want to put labels, but a life coach to help you on this personal journey, to support you, to help you make decisions, to give you an objective point of view, for example. And it's so important, because loneliness at this point in time and at this point in life is very, very high, extremely high. The sense of loneliness, depression, sadness, and everybody wants to seek some kind of happiness. So please don't do it alone. I would really highly, highly recommend that you do get the support.
Yes, that's something very critical, what you say, fundamental. In these crazy days in which many people spoke about social distance, it became into social isolation, and that brought into us a stronger feeling of loneliness, right? So
absolutely.
Yes, the what you say about get support is becoming not important but fundamental, right?
Yes, paramount.
And there's
extremely,
yes,
extremely, yeah.
Yes, and I saw already here in Brazil, in Argentina, and in other countries, I already felt that there's a very silent problem, which is depression and sadness. And it's because many people are getting so alone, and especially, and the emptiness is something very, very very important in most of the cases, because people are feeling sad because they were told by the system to be alone, but they end up isolated. So what you offer is becoming not important, but fundamental. So I appreciate your sharing this, Anjana.
Yes. It's worldwide. It's worldwide. Yeah, it's a global challenge.
Yes.
Big
Yes,
challenge.
absolutely.
And this is across the age group, not only the people that are 45 and above. So,
wonderful. And do you have any, finally, do you have any offer for those people watching this video or in the Healers Network group? Do you have any special offer, any special promotion, or any other additional remark you want to share?
I have a, if anybody's interested, look, people are very sad, so they're actually looking for happiness. So I have an ebook. If you're interested, a free ebook, you can message me or put it on the Healers Network group, and I will email you the ebook of how to remove the roadblocks to personal happiness. Because I think a lot of people are seeking that, are seeking happiness, and I would like to help them remove those roadblocks, so they can move forward in life. And if they want, they can, and they can, if they want, they can do a free call with me. If they're willing to chat, I can put the details, Fernando. I don't know where to put the details in the group or a link.
Yes, in the comments below of this video. Okay.
Yes. So they're most welcome to do a complimentary 30-minute complimentary chat, and we can take it from there. So whatever you need, you can just message me or put it in the group. You're most welcome.
Oh, thank you very much, Anjana. That's something very, very important. I feel many people badly need your help. So I appreciate very much your participation here, and I hope to see you in the next call. On next Friday, we have other guests, and I'm very, very honored by your presence here. So thank you very much for being part of this interview.
Thank you for the opportunity for showcasing me and who I am and what I can do. But yeah, I'm not very good with words. I'm not a very extrovert person. So thank you for this opportunity to showcase my stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes, I appreciate, and I'm also inspired by your expansion, your transformation, and I also feel that it will continue to grow in the next few days to come. Okay. Thank you, Anjana.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.